What's up, Sooner Surge members, Sooner Surge followers, Sooner Nation? Welcome to the Sooner Surge. Make sure you've clicked subscribe, give us a rating, like, comment on the videos, turn on your notifications. Happy Friday. It's football weekend, and we start first with those high school games, guys, with some targets and some commits of the Oklahoma Sooners. Let's see what we got first. Looks like Lone Grove and Heritage Hall, Hunter.
Yeah, Andy Bass and the Heritage Hall Chargers taking on Lone Grove. If it's anything like what Andy Bass has been doing as of late, he's probably going to have 400 all-purpose yards. He's just he is unreal. The fact that he's a 3-star athlete and that's all he is crazy because he can sling the ball a lot better than what he's given credit to as a quarterback. I was there watching him a few weeks ago. He had like a 90-yard touchdown pass. He also ran one that got called back the distance. He had like 400 yards all-purpose that game. So expect another big outing from him. Next up, staying in kind of the 405 area, Millwood and Alva. You got Jayden Nichols in that game. He's 4-star 2025 receiver. You also have C.J. Turnbull in that game, quarterback for Millwood. For the Falcons, he is a guy that could be OU's quarterback target for 2026. He's still young, but OU's going to need a quarterback in 2026. You know, Jeff Lebby has really kind of went anti how it used to be. He doesn't do the quarterback every other year trend. He does at least one per year. So 2026 a ways away, but it is one to watch. Next up, Eisenhower, Carl Albert. Jerm, you can start on this one.
I mean, obviously, this game is what a lot of Sooner fans would love to see because of the Sperry, Xavier Robinson. I know there's some more, but Sperry continues to just kind of stake his claim as one of the premier guys, talents to watch for Sooner fans. Not just is he fun to watch, this Carl Albert team is a doggone good football team, guys. I think one that could give Bigsby a run for their money if they were in the same class. But so you definitely want to get out there if you're anywhere near this and watch this game, guys.
Yeah, it's pick your poison with Carl Albert. You can shut down the run, not let Xavier Robinson put a bunch of high school kids into the ground because he's a man amongst boys. Like, he's one of the biggest high school running backs I've seen and plays every part of it with just how physical he runs the football. But you have Kevin Sperry, the best quarterback in the state, so he can sling it to his receivers, Tristan Hayes, Trene Washington. Then defensively, they got Marcus James. That's another. Those are 5 D1 guys on one team. It's just Carl Albert. I don't know if anyone in 5A is going to be able to beat him. It's going to be – you're going to kind of have to – which, again, it was a scrimmage when UConn, I believe UConn they tied, or I can't remember the score in that game, but UConn kept it close in the half-game scrimmage. Just kind of got to manage the clock, run down the clock, long drives, and force a few mistakes from Carl Albert. But doing all that to get a win is very, very hard to do against this very talented Carl Albert team. Next up, Muldrow, Chakotah. You got 4-star Elijah Thomas in this game. No, last week he had a massive game. It was a rivalry game against Eufaula. I think he kind of really just called game. I believe he had like an 80-yard touchdown reception that game. It's a guy out, I think they're 4A, maybe 3A.
I believe he had a pick 6 as well.
Yeah, he plays both ways. Truly just a star player for them. It's, the saying, just screw it. He's down there. Yeah, Elijah Thomas is down there. You just throw the ball up to him, get it to him in open space, and let him make a big play. Put you on the board. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns. Another guy, like, this wide receiver class 2025, like, it really has the potential to be the best class that OU's, like, ever had. Just in one room.
Yeah, and you mentioned Nickens earlier. Nickens is a guy really, I mean, didn't play a whole lot, right? Last year due to injury,
Yeah, he
wasn't it?
missed some time last
And
year.
missed a lot. And really, I expect him now that we're in week 4 of the season, that I think his numbers are going to start picking up immensely. He's a guy that I think can put a lot more numbers up than he has been. So maybe that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, he's CJ Turnbull's number one target. So expect him to start having bigger showings as the season progresses. I mean, Millwood went to the 2A state championship last year, lost to Washington, the next team I'm about to talk about. So for them to get back to that championship game, Jayden Nichols is going to have to get the ball. That's something that will happen a lot. Washington, Frederick, Nate Roberts, number one tight end in the state of Oklahoma. My opinion, he should be the number one tight end in the country. Recently decommitted from Notre Dame. So now just going about his recruitment. He visited, I believe, Ohio State this past weekend. Was in Norman for the beatdown against Arkansas State, 73-0 shutout. So a guy that Joe John Finley now has a second chance to land. Would really like to see that happen. To kind of, you got to get those elite tight ends like that are in your backyard.
Yeah, and nothing against the tight ends they have right now in Norman, but seriously, if you get Roberts and Davion Mitchell, this is scary good. Like, it's something that's probably, those two guys together would be maybe the two best tight ends in a combination that they've ever had in Norman, Oklahoma. And everything I've heard about Washington, guys, if you're anywhere near where that game is going on, you got to get out there. This they're a powerhouse. This team is unbelievable in high school football, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they throw the ball to the tight ends a lot. They also have Cooper Alexander. He's a 3-star tight end committed to Iowa State. For any school to have an elite tight end is one thing. Washington has two of them, the two best in the state as of right now. This is one that's going to be interesting. Crosstown game, rivalry, Edmond Memorial, Edmond Santa Fe. Santa Fe's had a much better season. They've already matched their win total. They upset Jinx at the beginning of the season. Last year they were 1-9. This year they're 1-1. Had the loss to Norman North. That was a tough way to go down. They were leading the whole game, just couldn't get the offense going when it mattered most. Few turnovers, a few just stalled drives. Virgin Kaiser, OU PWO commit, known for his defensive line ability, his talent, really good on the defensive line, trains alongside a lot of other defensive linemen heading to Norman with Coach Littlehead, Coach Chief, and he had to punt the ball way too much. He's also a punter, very good punter. I joke about it a lot. OU could, if they needed to, throw Virgin Kaiser out there to punt. They also have Josh Isosa. That's very, very athletic offensive lineman, 3-star that committed back in August. Can really move. He moves a lot better than he should move for his size. Against Norman North, had a few pancake blocks on linebackers pulling from, I believe he was lined up most of the game at left tackle. They'd pull him. He'd be the lead blocker and get a pancake to open the running lanes for the running backs. So, yeah, that's going to be one of the best games this week, especially among where OU targets are going to be present. Of the games in the 405, that's the one I would say to go to. This is another one.
Big rivalry game too. So,
yeah, another game here in Noah, Western Heights. Danny Okoye should be playing. That's the hope, at least. He had the shoulder injury. Not sure 100% on the timeline of it, but it's been a few weeks now. Noah dropped their game last week. They really need Danny Okoye back healthy because, I mean, Coach Ballinger there called him the Swiss Army knife. That's what he is. He does it all. Pass catch, blocking. I think he's thrown the football some, punting the football. He's a great punter too. I don't know what it is with these defensive linemen that are highly athletic, able to punt the football the way that they do. I mean, Danny Okoye had multiple punts over 50 yards to open the season and a couple downed inside the 10-yard line.
They desperately need Danny Okoye back, and I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to get out there after missing some time. And no, let's be honest, guys, they've struggled a little bit this year. Definitely need Danny Okoye in the lineup, and I imagine just he's ready to, with the commitment now behind him, focus on this senior season and leading them to maybe a championship again. So,
yeah, I'm sure it's kind of a weight lifted to be done with the recruiting process, locked in on OU. Now you can focus on winning another national championship. Noah won the homeschool national championship a year ago, so they're trying to make it back to back.
Yeah.
It's another very unknown high school, St. Mark's Cassidy. Cassidy has PWO Ace Hodges, another defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman. He plays both ways for them. Plays defensive tackle and center. Plays over 130 snaps a game at an elite level. Multiple sacks. Like I don't get how an offensive lineman in general is able to play that many snaps and be as productive as he is. He doesn't allow many sacks.
He's under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, and it's not his fault. It's Cassidy is not even in OSSAA yet, so they're in like I forget what it's called. It's almost a Texas conference. So not being in this Oklahoma high school football conference, it makes him hard to be recruited, but he's got those trainers that helped him, went to the camps, Prep Red Zone helped him out a lot with how they evaluated him from his performances at the camps. And now he's walking on at OU. He's one that we talk about culture. He fits that culture. Brent Venables, Miguel Chavis, Todd Bates, the entire coaching staff are building at Oklahoma. Skiatook and Wagner. Wagner, powerhouse in the 918, one of the top teams in the state, physical team. Just they play old style of football. Like they're a team that I think could give some of these 6A teams a very good run for their money because of just the way they play. Like they play Coweta every year in the rivalry game. This year they beat them. So massive win for them early in the year. They got Alex Shieldnight, 2025 guy, going to be a 4-star defensive lineman. Miguel Chavis last week was in the 918. Made it out to watch him play before that Tulsa game on Saturday. So that's one in the 918 that if you want to watch some kind of underappreciated football, Wagner is a good
I would
place
agree with
to
that.
go.
Death, taxes, and Wagner dominating in football are pretty consistent things. So
this one's interesting right here. The Union Owasso.
Game of the week.
Yeah, you got Blankenship obviously with it against his old school, but Devin Jordan in this one, man. We've seen the tweets recently about, are you next one to commit? Eye emojis, right?
Yeah, they're working. Devin Jordan seems to be the one they're going after the most. Sooners made his top 5. Believe it was last month when he put that out.
He's a shutdown corner too.
Yeah, he's I watched him against Westmore. I don't believe they threw directly to his man the entire game. I could be wrong. I was a little late getting in. There was a long line to get into the stadium, but I don't believe they threw it his way, or if they did, it wasn't directly to his man, if they even threw it to his side of the field. But anytime it was where he could get there, he was making a tackle as well. So every bit of that 4-star hype with Devin Jordan.
Hey, does he play offense at all?
Again, it's hard to tell. It was Westmore. That's the game. Union cruised to victory. I believe in bigger games like against Jinx, I think he played a little bit of wide receiver. So when it matters, I think they're going to throw him in two ways. With guys like that, you have to. He's an elite player. You got to get him the ball on offense. You got to play him both ways.
Well, and in high school, I mean, I remember RSJ at BA. I mean, look, sometimes these guys that are super talented, it doesn't look like they're doing much, especially the ball's not being thrown their way. I mean, might as well stick them on offense in those big games, because RSJ did the same thing and throw them on offense, because a lot of times they're not getting a whole lot of a look their way if they're a shutdown corner. They'll just, in high school, they'll just totally go to the other side.
Yeah. Speaking of Westmore, Westmore, and more. That's one. Michael Patterson McDonald, 3-star safety. Really the star player for the Westmore Jaguars. Another good game to go in the 405. More kind of just area between Norman and Oklahoma City. It's smack dab in the middle. So easy to get to the stadium there. That's going to be one to watch, that crosstown rivalry. They also, Moore has a 5-star kicker. I believe Liam Evans committed to OU. So he went to the Coles kicking camp, got the 5-star rating, made a 51-yarder, I believe it was, a couple weeks ago. I think that's a school record for Moore. Final game I got for this week, the big OKPreps games of the OU targets or commits. Jinx Enid. Jinx, not the ideal start in any way. They're 1-2 on the season, but they got to win the batters. Backyard bowl against Union. Pulled off that. I mean, really an upset win, because for going into that game, a lot of people expected Jinx was going to be 0-3 to start the season after an upset loss to Edmond Santa Fe, the loss to Owasso. But they pulled off the win. You know why they pulled off the win? Because Sooners target Caden Jones had probably the game of his career so far. He's only a sophomore, so hasn't had a lot of high school football, really. He's only played in about 15 games, I think. Playing for the same school that his dad did, Kewan. His dad had a lot of legendary MVP performances in that very game against Union. Caden threw a touchdown pass that he also either caught or ran in one. I think he scored a few times in that game to win MVP honor. So now they're going up north to Enid. That should be a very bounce back win. It's one that if you're willing to drive a good ways north of Oklahoma City, go to Enid, watch Caden Jones ball out, as Jinx should have a big time win.
I think people kind of forget that Caden Jones is only a sophomore. I think
I do all the time.
I think he's kind of being like pushed along. It's like he's only a sophomore, guys. He's got so much more development. He's going to be, when he's a senior, I mean, he's going to be one of the best.
The main thing he's got to do is he's got to put a little weight on. I think is probably in the next 2 years what you're going to see maybe him really focus on, because the speed, the intangibles, he's really got it all on that thing. And I know we don't have the Bigsby. Bigsby, look, everyone's going to chase Bigsby in the 6A department, and I think they got Norman North, which I don't. Maybe
no one's beating
what?
No one's beating Bigsby.
No one's beating Bigsby, yeah. So
I don't think they're beating him.
I mean, but there you have it, guys. I mean, that's a lot of games that covers pretty much the entire state. Western part of the state, center part of the state, eastern part, you name it. You can see some OU targets or commits tonight. Get out there, check it out. We'll make sure that we have a synopsis, a summary of some of these guys and the performances they have. And again, don't forget to click subscribe. We got plenty more coming your way with the OU Cincinnati game tomorrow, with the pregame live, post-game coverage. Make sure you're being a part of what's going on here at the Sooner Surge. Till next time, guys. Boomer.
Boomer.